make just a bunch of memes about how shitty our life is, but we won't change anything. Hello people, in this video I'm going to answer the questions that foreigners asked me about my motherland Russia and the Russian language. I don't want this intro to be too long, so let's start the ball rolling. And a little disclaimer at the beginning, I'm going to answer these questions relying on my own experience, even though I'll try to make them as objective as possible and just to spill some common truth. Still, there is some degree of subjectivism in all of my answers, so don't believe them because they're not like 100% true, as there are lots of exceptions from the rules, but still I'll try to show you the real picture of Russia and not to be too subjective. I decided to divide all the questions into 3 topics. So firstly, I'll answer the questions related to the Russian language, then we'll discuss climate, geography and some other aspects, and the third topic would be some stereotypes, politics, history, culture, and etc. Is it difficult to learn the Russian language? Very difficult. First reason for this is that it differs from all the European languages, so basically Russian is like the same as all the Asian languages, and it's not only about the alphabet, but the pronunciation differs as well, because there are lots of sounds that are not the same as in English, for example, and for foreigners it would be kind of hard to pronounce them. It would take a lot of time to tell why the Russian language is so complicated, but among the main I would name the conjunction of all the parts of speech. Numerous exceptions, because there are lots of things that cannot be logically explained in Russian, and when foreigners face them, they actually just get lost and they don't know what to do with that. Plural forms are kind of weird as well, and there are like a list of things that make this language so complex. How long does it take to become proficient in Russian? It's all individual, and I guess it depends on the particular person and on his or her abilities, but well, I can tell like the exact period of time, like a year, and after that you'll be fluent, absolutely fluent in Russian. No, it's not how it works. I guess it depends on like the amount of time that you spend daily in learning Russian, on your abilities for languages in general, and just lots of other factors. I guess it's better to start learning this language and then you'll see. Is it easy to travel in Russia if you don't know the language? It's weird, but even if you go to the center of Moscow, you'll hardly meet the person who is absolutely fluent in English and who will help you. There are lots of cases when people like the cashiers or someone cannot speak English, or for instance security person, and then if you face some problem, no one will help you. It's not that hopeless, but I mean, they will invite some person who kind of knows English, but actually he or she has never heard an English speech before and just knows several phrases in English, but it won't be really helpful. So when you travel to Russia, it's better to use Google Translate, but in some particular cases, when you have some really serious issue, I guess it could be a problem. But it's weird that even in the capital of the largest country in the world, people do not speak English, and I guess when you are applying for a job, knowledge of English should be #1 priority, because there are lots of tourists, especially in Moscow. What are the most popular destinations that people from Russia prefer to go to, apart from Moscow and St. Petersburg? So you know that we have the southern part of Russia, we have the sea, and I would name Crimea and Sochi. These are kind of prominent places that people go on vacation. Then we have another popular destination, it's Siberia, and especially the Lake Baikal. Leningrad, the former Königsberg, is kind of getting more popular. Also this golden ring of Russia that includes several well-known cities from the central part of Russia. And then I could name just some big cities. It would be great to visit them. How different are Russians in different regions? That's a really difficult question. The most distinguishing fact that I would name is about the geographical location of people. People who live really far from the central part of Russia tend to be less educated than people from the central part of Russia, and the level of poverty is actually greater in those further regions than in the central part of Russia. That's the true fact. Relying on my personal opinion, so if you compare people from Moscow and St. Petersburg, I would say that St. Petersburg has this unique atmosphere of art, and there are lots of subcultures there. This city is more free and more liberal to my mind. But in Moscow, these subcultures are getting more and more popular as well. I wouldn't say that it's something of a great difference, but in general, both in Moscow and St. Petersburg and some big cities like that are located in the central part of Russia, I would say that this underground culture is developing rapidly, and younger generations are really cool and really liberal, and they try to make some change. They are so different, they have diverse interests, but at the same time everyone is so unique and so inspiring, I would say. That's what differs like the center and the further regions where there is high level of poverty and lack of education, just because there is more possibilities for self-development. There is more diversity, I would say. Is it more cold or warm in Russia? That's a really great stereotype that it's freezing in Russia like throughout the year, but it's false. So I'd like to remind you that we have the southern part where the temperature is in general higher than in any other regions throughout the year, and it's just the climate is better there. Then we have the northern part where the temperature is lower and they have really harsh winters, like minus 50 Celsius or something like that. And then we have the central part where we have cold weather in winter, warm weather in summer. Well, basically, that's it. Have you ever had to deal with a bear or a Siberian tiger? No, I have not. I may have seen these animals only in the zoo, but personally, never. How is the situation with Corona in Russia currently? No one gives a damn about Corona. Corona does not exist in my country at all. So we do not have any measures, everything is open, everyone has access to all the public events, all the restaurants, cafes, and everything is open, free. Well, there are lots of people in public transport, so we live as Corona does not exist, and everything is fine here. Like, we live our normal lives. There is this like official rule that we have to put on our mask in public places, so some people do that, some people don't, but in general, we are a free land, free of Corona. Are the popular stereotypes about Russia actually true? So there is a bunch of stereotypes, and I'm going to elaborate on each of them separately. So the first one is that we are actually melancholic. I would say yeah, it's because of our culture in general. This stereotype that Russian people do not smile too much in public, that's absolutely true. So I guess we tend to be like dramatic, sad and whatever, just because we have this cold season. I mean, in the central part of Russia, most of the year we have lots of social problems, so that's why we just do not have any reason to be happy. But of course, it's all individual, but in general, yeah. Drink vodka. Again, it depends on the person. There are people who drink a lot of vodka. There are people who do not drink vodka at all. For example, I have not tried vodka in my entire life. Some people prefer this alcoholic drink, some people do not. Well, but it's absolutely not like you may have seen this in the movies. Are Russians actually religious? Well, I would say that majority of older generation is religious. If you're talking about the younger generation, some people believe in God, some people do not believe in anything. Some people do not stick to Christianity exactly. Some people believe in themselves, as they say. Do you have beers as pets? Oh, not beers. Beer. My lovely beer. Do we have bears as pets? No, we don't. What is the attitude of Russians towards the USA or Germany? So I would put it like, what's the attitude of Russian towards the western part of the world throughout the history? Well, That's a harsh one, and I should be really careful. Well, if we summarize, there is this older generation and there is the younger generation. The older generation is more inclined to be influenced by the media and everything that they say there. That is 99% of lies and false information. That's like the majority of the older generation. But still, there are lots of people who wake up and have a clear vision on the situation and they do not believe all the stuff that is said on TV. So those people who believe, they think that the West is about to interfere us and that they are enemies and like lots of other stupid thoughts that are put in their heads. And there is this younger generation who is more liberal. They understand that it's peace that we need to follow, and people from other countries are our friends, not enemies. What's more important, it's not about people, it's just about those guys that are just at the power, at the higher positions, but people, like citizens, are innocent. And that's really silly to keep anger at some particular country, because, well, what's the point? Is Russia actually as scary as the American media possesses it to be? At first I need to know how American media perceives Russia, because I'm not aware, so I cannot make any conclusions. But I guess all they say is something about our harsh politics. If, for instance, you come to Russia, you'll definitely die here, and some other stuff, so that's not true. What can be true is that there is a great amount of social problems. The most serious is the poverty, and that's true. There are lots of regions that are in really disastrous condition. But all the information that you hear that it's impossible to just live a normal life here, that's false. The next one is my point of view on homophobia, what people actually think about this subject in Russia. Homophobia is kind of an issue in Russia. It's all the fight of generations again. I want to put it really briefly, but I just can't find the right words. I would say that LGBT people cannot feel themselves fully safe in Russia, and I even have heard of insults from people who belong to this category. These were some famous people, but still, it's better not to tell publicly about your orientation. But at the same time, I guess there have been made some improvements, especially for the last years. Maybe these are some small steps, but still, more and more people realize that it's okay, and more people accept this. They are not homophobic at all. Especially, again, the younger generation. Well, in general, younger generation in Russia is kind of really tolerant and cool, so yeah, I guess there is nothing to be afraid of to tell to your friends and to parents. Well, parents, it depends, of course, on the family, but if you want to tell your friends, so the majority of young people will accept you. My personal point of view is that people can do with their lives whatever they want. They can love whoever they like, and, well, love is beautiful, so let's spread love, and that's all I can say. Where you stand on the Alexei Navalny situation? I support Navalny, and I'm actually against the current power in my country. Navalny is the person who is so brave, and I just can't stop wondering how much of this spirit one person has to resist the whole system that is so shitty and so dumb, but he does this. And even if the system oppresses him so much and even tries to kill him, he still does not give up. I just admire this person, and I wish him all the best. I really hope that he'll be able to awaken the majority of Russian citizens, and that we'll take action against this old and stupid system as soon as possible. I'm talking about the political situation in general, so our mentality is made this way that we understand that the situation is shit and that we live in this shit, but still we will make just a bunch of memes about how shitty our life is, but we won't change anything. So that's how we live, and I guess we are just not ready to take the real action. So that's why we will just laugh about how much we suffer, but we won't do anything. Personally, I just try to spread information. I'm not sure about the efficiency of this method, but that's all I can do. That was all for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. So I try to be as resourceful as possible and as objective as I could be. I hope that now you know more about Russia, and maybe you've even broken some stereotypes that lived in your head. So if you like this video, put a like on it, leave a comment below. If you want some more elaboration, or if you have some additional questions, I'm ready to hear them and to answer them as well. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm really sorry that I haven't been publishing videos for several months, but I'm going to fix this. Thank you for watching, and пока-пока! If you face some problem, no one will help you.